Turning up to talk without knowing who you're talking to is a formula for underperformance at best and serious, heavy embarrassment at worst. Personal brands can get shredded when we get this wrong. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Monday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of two books, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center, our studio in the High Performance Center in Akasaka in Minato-ku. This is the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 133, and we are talking about Know Your Target. So let's get going. I was at a speech recently given by a very prominent person, an extremely experienced speaker to a very prestigious audience. It should have been a triumph, but it was a fizzer. There were two particular problems with the speech. One was it was set for 25 minutes, but the speaker finished in 8 minutes. The second problem was that the most interesting part of the speech was not readily accessible for the audience. Both issues stemmed from a lack of homework before giving the speech. Given the experience of the speaker, I found this rather surprising, but it highlights that no matter how comfortable you are or how experienced you are, always do your homework before giving the talk. Japan is a very formal country. If a speech is scheduled for 25 minutes, it has to last that long, or otherwise it upsets the timetable. It creates a gap. And the organisers here in Japan are not renowned for their flexibility and capacity to ad-lib. It also sends a subtle negative message to the audience that they are not worth preparing a 25-minute speech for. It comes off as being disrespectful and flippant. I was sitting in the audience, listening to the proceedings as an audience member, and was surprised to hear the speaker wrapping things up. Looking at my watch, I realized we were barely out of the blocks. Another audience member caught my eye as we both realized that this was coming to an abrupt and rather shocking end. He gave me a quizzical look that said, "Is this speaker serious?" I certainly didn't feel he left the right impression with the audience. They felt cheated and that they had not been respected enough, given how self-important they are. This was the right crowd to win over too, so a real opportunity gone begging. I've often been asked to speak to Japanese groups from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is late in the day, when people are already tired from the morning and early afternoon sessions already. The length of a 2-hour speech is taxing for an audience to stay connected with the subject and with the speaker. I wondered why they want to put the audience through that ordeal. I asked, can't we just make it 1 hour tops? I was told, oh no, Story-san, it has to be 2 hours. Listening to a foreigner speaking Japanese for such a long period is also tiring because of the extra concentration needed. After doing a number of these long speeches, I eventually realized I was the filler between the end of their own program and the party. The food and drinks were ready for a 6 p.m. start, and I needed to keep tap dancing until that time. If I had quit after an hour, the organisers would lose face because people would be lost with what to do for that single unscheduled hour. If they were Aussies, they would just start the party earlier. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment. Be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience, everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. Are you doing business with Japan? Do you really know how things work? Japan Business Mastery provides the answers. Do you have the right networks and know how to create them? Do you know how to get on the same wavelength with Japanese buyers? Do you know what being trustworthy looks like from the Japanese perspective? Japan Business Mastery is based on more than 30 years' experience in Japan and will become your go-to guide. Want to succeed in Japan? Buy Japan Business Mastery now. Welcome back. So, before you speak, carefully check on how long they want you to occupy this part of the program. The organisers usually have very little interest in the quality end of the experience. They just need the slot filled, and you need to understand that is your role, sunshine. Knowing this will help you in your preparation. You can structure the presentation to make it interesting over a 2-hour period. One way to do that is by employing visuals. I don't mean detailed, heavy-duty graphs and tables of statistics like a lot of Japanese presenters seem to love. I mean photos with no words on them, which you then proceed to talk about. Now, our big-name speaker, in my example, actually had some really intriguing photos with him, but hadn't thought to put them on slides and show them to everyone. He just waved them in the air effortlessly and ineffectively. It's not hard to ask the organisers if there is an opportunity to use a screen and a projector. Most venues in Japan have these types of equipment. Why that relatively simple task wasn't checked on before the speech was a complete mystery to me. He could have really wowed his audience because the content of the photos was really dynamite. Waving the actual photos around from the podium isn't quite as exciting as projecting them up on a huge screen and then telling everybody the backstory. The point here is, do your homework in Japan before you speak. Check on the logistics, the reasoning behind the schedule, the equipment availability at that venue for what you need. Who will be in my audience? What are they interested in? What is their knowledge of the subject? How can I impress them? Will there be consecutive or simultaneous translation going on if you are doing it in English? No one prepares to fail, but we do fail to prepare, don't we? Let's not do that. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Remember, you can become a regular every week. Thank you for watching this episode and hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It is awesome value, so check it out. Please leave me some feedback on YouTube. I would love to know how this show helped and what other topics you are interested in for me to cover. Remember, I am here as a free resource to help you, so just tell me how I can help you best. You might also enjoy my other weekly shows. For podcasts, Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's this show as a podcast every Monday. Tuesdays for the Presentations Japan series. Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series. Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series. And Fridays for the Japan Business Mastery Show. Wherever you get your podcast, look for these shows. Also, on Fridays, I release my other TV show, the Japan Business Mastery Show on YouTube. In episode number 134, we are talking about pushy or prescient. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. I've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.